Well, hello there. Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. Today we're out to sea on the art room sailboat. We call this a sailboat reflection picture. But don't worry, there's plenty of room down in the hold later so we can all have lunch together. So get ready. This is going to be a great episode. Okay, welcome back to the art room. Love this illusion of a sailboat. Boy, now I've got a sailboat. What a lucky guy. I have an airplane and a submarine to go with it. I did this sailboat reflection picture and had a lot of fun doing it, and wow, just a neat illusion of a reflection down here in the water. Actually, we're going to actually use water to create that effect. I'll show you that after a little bit. Just a really great chalk drawing that we're going to try today in the art room. So I'll get you started. This is the paper that I'm going to be using. It's called mixed media paper. Any 12 by 18 white drawing paper would be okay, or you could work smaller. You could do it on a 9 by 12. I like to work a little bit bigger so you can see me a little bit better. So, and then to go along with that, we're going to be using our Prang Gallery pastels. And they work great. I've been using them a lot. In fact, I've got a big box full of them. This is what they look like after artists get done with them. They're all broken up and and in my little fishing tackle box here. Works out really good for my pastels. So let's get started with our sailboat reflection picture. I'm going to fold it in half the fat way. Then I'm going to pick out a couple of colors that I like for the sky. This particular color right here, this kind of a turquoisey blue that I've got, I think I'm going to use that as part of my sky. And then at the bottom of the sky, I'm going to be using some yellow, maybe a little bit of orange too. And then, if you have magenta, oh, if you know me, I love the magenta very much. I love the magenta. It is really a great color, and that's going to be our cloud color. Get those out of the way. So, and then after a bit we'll be using some erasers. Here's my famous kneaded eraser. Have you got yours yet? I'm going to keep reminding you. And then also a pencil eraser at the end of your pencil eraser to do some sharp erasing in the clouds. So here we go, our sailboat reflection picture. I can hardly wait to start this. I'm going to take my sky tone here, and I'm going to put some across the top. Get a lot of chalk dust generated. It'll rub around a little easier if you have a lot of chalk dust. But it's not going to be that dark, don't worry. Alright, a lot of chalk dust there. Some people like to use their fingers. I'm finding a piece of a paper towel really makes a good way to rub your chalk, and it doesn't get all over your fingers and stuff. So I'm going to take this and start blending my sky in. Isn't that pretty? Rub it down real good. Oh yeah. I'm going to kind of stretch it down in here a little bit further. Like that. Okay, I like that. Okay, and from the bottom, now this line that we made when we folded our paper, that is going to be the horizon. So you know what the horizon is? That's where the sky and the ground meet in your picture. So I'm going to take my yellow chalk now, and up and down the horizon here, I'm going to add some really beautiful yellow. Oh, that's neat. And I'm not going to actually touch my blue. I'm going to come up to it, up to the edge of it. Okay, and pick another kind of a semi-clean spot on my paper towel. And let's rub that in. Oh yeah, that's very cool. And I'm going to rub that up in until it makes contact with my blue and my sky. Okay. And yours might not look exactly like this if you picked, you know, a different sky color. That's fine. Well, the sky's full of so many different colors. Any given night you can pick out different colors up in it. Okay, very good. Now it's time for some clouds. So when you do this, we really want to be random with it, and I like to hold my chalk on my side, so that's why I broke off a bit, so I can hold it on my side and not get a great big piece. But what I'm going to do is kind of scrub up and down here with it, like that, and I'm pulling the chalk along, making a random kind of an edge like that. Go right off the top like that. This time it's all about my finger though, so I'm going to get my fingertip in here, and ooh, I like that. And I'm going to see if I can bring that chalk dust down like so. Okay, very good. We'll do some more of that. Up here, I think I'll put another piece of cloud up there. Rub that in too. And be random with it. And sometimes I like to tug bits of it up and down and side to side to kind of make a even more kind of a neat cloudy look. So we're dropping down a little farther on towards the horizon. So the clouds, as they go down to the horizon, are farther away. So that's a neat concept for we artists to grab a hold of. Things that are smaller, or things that are farther away rather, look smaller. Things that are closer look larger. So now that cloud there is a lot farther away. It's the same kind of cloud, but it's just really farther away. And just kind of working little bits and pieces. And maybe just, you know, some little shredded areas there where pieces of the clouds have separated from the other bits. And then here we are, we're down way far away. These little tiny indications are, you know, on the other side of the lake or the ocean or wherever we're at here with our sailboat. I love it already. So once again, I'm going to smudge those. Yeah, mainly from side to side, but every once in a while you can cast your finger up and make a cool effect like it's kind of blowing in the wind or something there. All right. How you doing on yours? Okay? Hope so. Hey, well, let's put a sun in now. And the size of the sun really doesn't matter. Sometimes the sun looks really big. Sometimes it's funny how your eyes trick you that way. But I'm going to take an eraser. This is my white eraser, and I'm going to pick a spot out. I don't usually like to plop a sun like right in the middle. If you're familiar with that term, composition, makes a little bit better composition if you have your sun to the right or to the left. So I'm going to get my eraser here, and I'm just going to erase a circle out like so. Okay, so I'm trying to hit it kind of round too, so it looks like it could really be the sun here. How's that doing for you? Okay, where's my brush here? Hey, there we go. Get that brush in there. Very good. So we've got a sun in our picture now. Not quite round. I might do a few things later to correct that and get it a little bit rounder. Pencil eraser comes in real handy for these little tight areas. And so we're off and running. So let's take a minute to think about what happens when the sun is out here and the sun looks like it's, you know, setting at this point in the evening with our sailboat. I'm going to see if I can introduce a little bit of these highlights on the bottom of of our clouds here just by erasing some pieces in there. Why the bottom of the clouds? Well, because the sun is here and it would be projecting out that way, and it might be picking up some of the light at the bottom of your, just kind of wiggling my eraser around here a little bit and get some indications of sun hitting the clouds. Oh wow. You know, actually maybe I'll even punch a couple of holes in my cloud here while I'm there. So it's a beautiful way to do a sunset, don't you think? And we'll add some of these neat white highlights like that. Okay. All right, we are off to a good start. I think maybe a little bit of orange at the bottom since we got it out. I'm just going to introduce a little bit of orange here and see if we can get a little bit of like an orange cast to that. Okay, wow, that's cool. Okay, hey, we are in good shape. It's time to build a sailboat then. So I found out when I was doing these that it's kind of a pleasing look if you use your sailboat color, make your sailboat color the same color that you used up in the sky. Kind of works as a good silhouette. So that's what I'm going to do with my sailboat. So here we go. We'll set it right on top of our horizon. Maybe if I erase this part off below my fold line, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. That's where we're setting our sailboat drawing, right on top of that. Okay, so with my sky color here, if you can switch colors if you want to, but I'm going to use my sky color. I'm going to draw a line on top of the fold line, and that's going to be our sailboat hull, the body of our sailboat, about that long. And then I'm going to see if I can make it look a little more shaped like a boat. Point the front a little, and yeah, okay. And you can do a little pointy prow there, or the bow, I guess. Better ask Frankie about that. He's the sailboat expert. Is that the bow? I think that's the bow. Okay, so we got a nice little boat sitting there. We'll put a cabin on top of our boat there. Okay, that's where you can go, we talked about it at the beginning. That's where we're going to have our sandwiches when we're all done. we got bologna sandwiches down there waiting for us. And then we could do some other details, like here's like an outboard motor kind of thing at the back. And then I could even in a minute do, this is like where you would steer the boat, and then there might even be like a steering ship's wheel there. Rudder. Okay, great. So we need to put a mast in to hold our sails. So don't worry, we're going to draw straight up. You can correct it if you don't get straight the first time. You can correct it. I'm going to take my chalk here and see if I can just draw a line up about that far. Something that looks right for a sailboat mast. Okay. Yeah, great. Okay, so we got our place where we can put our sailboat, our sail rather, and sometimes when I've done these I've made just straight triangular sails, sometimes I've made curvy sails. Different kinds of sailboats have different kind of sails, so I'm going to go, just to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to go with more of a curvy sail, like that. Got kind of a pretty shape to it. And I'm going to draw it till it comes down about this far next to my boat. I don't want to hit my boat. I want a little airspace in there. And let's finish that bottom line of our sailboat sail. And if you think about it, leave a place for the sailboat skipper to look through the sail. I was looking around, and it looks like some of these sailboats have a plastic window in them. So that makes sense. If you're on the other side of the sailboat, you'd want to see what's going on through that little window. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in my first sail with my chalk color here. Okay. And I'm going to leave the dust there. I'm not going to blow the dust off. I'll show you why I'm not going to get rid of that extra dust. Here's a little trick I picked up when I work with chalk. I have my kneaded eraser, and what I'll do is just make a point on it like that, and I'll use it as a smoothing tool. It makes a great smooth surface if you go over where you've just colored with your chalk here. Now I am going to blow some of it away here. Okay, and you can actually even draw with it once it gets enough chalk on it. And I'll make another point here on it, and I'll show you what I mean here. See, I'm kind of going around my places that I just drew and actually filling in some of the chalk gaps in my sail. Like that. And you can do it with a regular eraser too, or your finger, even though your finger's a little bit, your finger's kind of big and clumsy compared to making a nice little point on the end of your kneaded eraser like that. Okay, well, let's draw another sail then. We'll skip a space here so we get a little effect of the light coming through there. And this sail's a little bit shorter, and it's a little bit straighter. Okay, put a sail there. Great. Alright, and I'm going to use that same technique again and get my kneaded eraser going and smooth in some of those areas there. Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay, my sailboat is looking good. Just for more interest, I'm not a sailboat expert by any means, but on my first one, I put like another sail up here, and I think that's what I'm going to do this time. So if you're a sailor out there, forgive me. But hey, we're in the art room. We can do a sail like that if we want. If it fits into our art plan, yeah, do it. Yeah, I like that too. It really kind of makes the whole thing a little bit better visually, don't you think? So, same thing here. I'm going to kind of comb that in. Okay. All right. And take a minute to smooth out some of the rough spots. And you can always go back to any part of this drawing, even if you don't like the way your clouds turned out or your sun turned out or anything, you can always go back into it later and have at it again. Yeah. All right, our sailboat is looking so good. I think just to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to come over here this is on top of my horizon line, and just give it I'm going to put like an island back there. Doesn't that look like an island? Maybe we went right by that island. Maybe that's where we came from. And I'm going to go up and down here with my fingertips so it looks like maybe there's some trees, or it's not just a flat piece of land. It's got maybe some plant life growing on it, like that. And I did this in my first one, so I think I'm going to do this again here. Here's another sailboat back here. and it's tiny by comparison. Why is it tiny? That's right, the right answer, because it's farther away. So let's just sketch in another sailboat that's back there farther. Okay. Oh, that's so good. All right. Well, I'm going to go up and get a paper towel now. I've got to go over to the kitchen here in a second and get my paper towel wet. So let's go over to the kitchen and we'll get the paper towel wet. I'm getting my paper towel soaking wet, but I'm also going to wring out a lot of the water so it's not dripping with water. So I'm back with my paper towel that I've soaked with water, whoops, I already dripped a little bit on my paper there, but that's okay. I love this part, so take a big deep breath. I just love this part. So I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to wet the whole bottom of my paper. Just get it nice and wet. Okay, and I'm kind of looking at it from the side. I can see how shiny it is. I know it's wet there, so trying not to disturb the actual sailboat much there. Okay, so good and wet. Now I'm going to fold my paper on the fold line, the original fold line that I had, and let's get that folded up. All right, and I'm going to fold it in half. Time to get the scissors. So when you do this part, bear in mind that the water is going from side to side in our picture, and it's kind of important that you rub that way if you want it to look like, you know, there are waves going horizontally along your picture. Let's open up and see what's happening here. Oh yeah, see that? So I'm going to keep on going with that and rubbing from side to side. Now if I rub the whole thing, it's really going to look really solid, but I think to kind of have that neat effect of the reflection, it's kind of fun if you don't rub the whole thing and you have those gaps in your water that look like they're reflecting. So I'm going to keep on rubbing mine for a while, trying to stay straight there. Is yours working out okay? I hope so. All right. All right. Well, let's open it up. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, wow. That's great. There we are. The sailboat reflection picture. And that's it. There are so many other things you could do. Going back to my original one here. Hey, it's almost a dead ringer for the first one that I made. I think maybe I changed some of the technique a little bit in my cloud there, but really, really great. Your picture will, after a while, lay down, but a little secret. I asked Mom if I could use the iron and a piece of newspaper to flatten mine out totally, so it, you know, it really, nobody could really tell that I had folded my paper to make that great effect. Sometimes people like to add palm trees in the background and reflect those, or add some other touches like seagulls flying around. Whatever you think is going to make your video, just your picture, really terrific and really all about you and your imagination. Okay? All right. Well, that was probably one of my favorite episodes. Just a really great thing. Before we go, I didn't have to reflect a sailboat. I did these pictures once before with a bridge. I've done a variation with buildings back here and reflected the buildings. And the whole reflection thing is really kind of cool. So I'm going to leave it there. That's our sailboat reflection picture. So hope you had fun with it. I sure did. And before we go, don't forget, no matter where you go, and no matter what you do, you've got something to be proud of. You're an artist. Stick with it, and we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.